The internet safety program that we offer is geared for children in grade 5, 6, and then grade 7s, 8, 9, 10, 11. In Canada, we go up to grade 11. We do a lot of work on cyberbullying, a lot of work on social media, and a lot of work on also how to address online lures and online predators. But then we also educate the parents on how to keep their children safe online, because a lot of parents feel inadequate when it comes to the World Wide Web.
It's really important that parents understand, like, not only does their home need to be a safe place for their kid to come and talk about anything that's going on in their life, but that it is their responsibility to know who their child is talking to online, what sites their child is going to, if anyone's making them feel unsafe, and really making that part of the conversation too.
Where we do things like write down 3 things about yourself, one of which is not true, and then have somebody else look at that and say, I think it's not true that you used to raise llamas. No, actually I did raise llamas. I have never lived in Quebec. So that brings home for kids exactly what it is that they can trust on the internet, which is nothing that people tell them about themselves, unless they actually know that person in real life.
And so we try to teach them that everything that they do online has eternal consequences. They can't gather those back. And we try to educate them in that way.
A lot of the children that we come across and we work with are children between the ages of 12 and 17. A lot of them are runaways, and when we get a case of a runaway child, we then find out that they either met an individual online, they were either lured, and then from there on, it then further expands to then the child being sexually exploited out in their streets. And being that we are in Las Vegas and that we primarily serve Southern Nevada, it's a huge issue in our community. Therefore, our internet safety program is really important. That it's a very important program for our organization to continue and to further expand on it.
Our education program, it's an abduction prevention awareness program. We have a program called SKATE, Safe Kids Are Taught Early. It's a 40-minute program that we teach in the schools, teaching the children about the lures that are used by predators and how to keep away from them, how to be safe and not be lured.
Our program for young children, ages 3 to 7, is called Run, Yell, and Tell. That's a copyrighted, trademarked program. The phrase is trademarked. We have runyelltell.com, .net, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that Run, Yell, Tell is the 3-word instruction that we give to children, and actually applies to anyone of any age who may feel threatened in any situation.
The most useful resources for my work are with the other parents that are in the boat with me, the other nonprofit organizations, people who have been in this longer than I have.
My most resources come from other members of AMECO. AMECO is, top-notch. I know that I can trust those people. I know that their organizations are true organizations that are not going to be putting me on a back burner. When I call them and say, hey, I've got a 15-year-old that is missing and I need some help on this one, they're going to help. If I have someone that I need to talk to about a child custody abduction, I know the organizations I can go to.
We're there for you, and we're just part of a family of organizations that show up every single day to find your children, to work on behalf of you.
All of our organizations really revolve around hope, and if it wasn't for our families, I say our families, I don't mean our immediate families like our mother and our father, but whenever I say our families, I refer to the families that we work for. They're the ones that keep us motivated and driven to keep doing what we do. And I don't think, I wish that we didn't have to work, I wish that we didn't need to be here, but they're the ones that keep us motivated and keep us driven.
We provide case management services, abduction education prevention programs, fingerprinting services, as well as free child ID cards.
We also have a Choices program which is targeted at middle school and high school students, and that is a runaway prevention program and teaching them about the choices that they make and the consequences of those choices.
My experience of 20 plus years of doing this, I have found the best resources in a variety of places, definitely from our community. We couldn't do it without them, but also the community, such as our community partners, such as NECMEC, who create programs like NetSmarts. The National Runaway Switchboard, they have modules, and I use pieces of both of those programs, plus programs I've developed over the years as a teacher, and it's a combination of all those, and put it together, and you've got a fun, interactive, and engaging, and empowering program for kids.
Parents should instruct their children, number one, always have a buddy when you go somewhere. Have a secret code with your parents. It might be strawberries are red. And if the child says, "Mama, strawberries are red," on a telephone, she knows that child is in danger. They should also be instructed to tell somebody where they're going and get permission. Very, very important.
I wish that everybody knew that any child missing is a child at risk. No matter what the category, abduction, runaway, family abduction, any child missing is a child at risk for victimization and exploitation.
I think that a lot of people just don't know how talented our investigation team is. They're comprised entirely of retired law enforcement and RCMP specialists, and they are world experts in what they do.
You know, our organization is so multifaceted that we do both proactive and reactive. Our proactive, we do a wonderful ID program, and we also borrow from other organizations like Missing Children Minnesota, and we do the Run, Yell, and Tell program that we have, and we have their puppets and everything else because it's a proven program. The other thing we do is we work well with law enforcement. We take care of what we need to do, and then when we work with them, we work well with the families and support them.
I would say that our organization utilizes volunteers really well. The majority of our programming is delivered by volunteers to children and parents and other folks who interact with children.
I'd have to say our organization, we really encompass all aspects of our mission, so prevention, education, search. But we also work really well with our partners in the province. We've been able to develop a really good bond with local law enforcement, foreign affairs, immigration, and our partners, our donors, our volunteers. We have a provincial-wide ID Day that allows us to reach almost 150,000 children in one day through 150 different local pharmacies throughout the province of Quebec.
We have ID booklets where we fingerprint and photograph children, and the parents keep the booklets in a safe place, and if the child ever went missing, then they would give the information to the police, and it would speed up the process, because when a child goes missing, parents are so distraught they can't remember where birthmarks or scars are on the child.
One of the aspects that our organization does really well is we treat each case as if it's the only case that we're working on at that moment. We make sure that we maintain constant communication with the parent, that we empower the parent as well to be involved, to do their part in making sure that their children's information is out in the community. And we just make sure that we continue to follow up until that child is located. Even when that child is located, we continue to do follow-up with the family to make sure, just to check in and see how they're doing, and if they need additional resources, that we are an organization that can provide them with information.
It's our alert program. We use landlines, cell phones, and we are able to call the area right away. We're up and running within 5 minutes.
MCSC embraces technology wholeheartedly. In the fall of 2011, there was a young boy abducted from the interior of British Columbia, and it was a stranger abduction. Just very recently, MCSC had implemented a new technology component using the smartphone application Point. Point essentially points individuals with smartphones towards businesses they need. So Point has an established user base of 16 million people in the world, 4 million of which reside in Canada. So this young child, 4-year-old boy in the interior of BC, is reported missing. And MCSC, through our partnership with Point, was able to push a child search alert directly into the smartphones and into the hands of over 10,000 Canadians with one push of a button. So within 10 or 15 minutes, 10,000 Canadians in the exact geographic region that the child had been abducted had the child's face, the abductor's face, the vehicle he was driving.
We have over 1,125 safe assisted recoveries.
When a child goes missing, it's an entire community's responsibility to look for that child.
The community. Absolutely, the community. It's why the Amber Alert is so powerful. The eyes and ears of the community out searching for a missing child is the most valuable asset we have.
It takes a village to raise a child, and it is your business to tell and to look out for the children in your neighborhood, because even though you may know your neighbor Bob or Sally, they could have skeletons in their closet. So we all need to be vigilant and watching out for our children.
The reality of the matter is, do something, do it effectively, do it appropriately, and don't stop.
Bring everything you have to this.
What keeps me up at night are those faces of those children that are on the flyers. Every day, when we create these flyers and we see the pictures of these children, it's just a constant reminder of where are they at, what are they doing, who are they with.
The mother said, I want you to know why my daughter wanted to learn how to do this program. This is the part that makes me cry. Because when she was 4 years old, she was out in her front yard playing. She wanted very, very much to go to school with her older siblings. Every day the bus would come and she'd say, can I get on the bus, Mommy? Well, after her siblings had gone to school one day, someone in a yellow van pulled up, opened the door and said, hey, little girl, would you like to go for a ride? And this young lady said, I have to go ask first, and ran immediately into the house to ask her mother. The van immediately left the scene. And I know, this mother said, I know your program saved my child. And now, that young lady and her friend, in the next 2 years, delivered that program to every preschool through first grade kid in the Detroit Lakes school system.
And he says, if it hadn't been for your organization, I wouldn't be here now.
When I saw that little boy come home and come into the Toronto airport, everything I had been working for so many years, it was worth it. And Dad sends me pictures of him every year and a calendar, and it can still choke me up. It's nice to know he's doing so well, he's being fed, he's healthy, he's thriving, and it was worth every moment.
We can stop it now. We are at a time and place where technology is now going to impact missing children, missing and abducted children in a way that we have never seen. It's a game changer at this point. And why? It's very simple. Technology is affording us the opportunity to be a connected global community in real time.
It is the community at large that needs to come and stand forward in this issue, shoulder to shoulder, all the mothers and fathers and aunts and uncles and grannies and grandpas. We all need to stand shoulder to shoulder to fight the issue of missing children so that not one more child is missing. And I believe that if the community truly steps forward and takes this issue seriously, we will keep our children safe.
Children are 24% of our population right now, but 100% of our future.